All right, everybody, welcome to the Mansfield Buzz.
Welcome to Mansfield Buzz with Jordan and Hurley. Local business stories, let's dive in early. Jordan asks the questions, brings stories to light. Hurdy runs a tech, keeps production tight. Build trust in a town, discover and explore hidden gems and stores you never heard before. Community connection, that's what we're about. Tune in, join us, see what Mansfield's all about. Mansfield's all about.
All right, everybody, welcome to Mansfield Buzz. It's Thursday at 2 o'clock, and as usual, we're live every single Thursday. Jordan, we've been doing this since March 17th of 2 years ago.
Wow.
Every Thursday. And I think me and you totally have probably swapped out maybe one or two broadcasts. So we've really been on together for 2 years.
Yeah.
Every Thursday, Tom, and we'll bring Tom in here in a minute. But hey, welcome. If you want to, and you're on right now and you're listening, you can comment if you like. We'll try to bring them up if we see you come up in the comments. We also are located at the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com, and then it's Mansfield TX Buzz. What we want you to do is send it to 5 friends right now, get them to come join us, and like, and underneath the video right there is a little thumbs up on YouTube. Click that. We're also streaming live on LinkedIn and Facebook today, so if you're joining us on those other 2 platforms, welcome. We're glad to have you. We've got a really cool show today. But before we do that, if you want to be on our April, we're booked through most of April, and we're going to shut it down. When I say shut it down, we're going to revamp it. So we're going to book about 3 more weeks, and then we're going to be into thinking about going, I guess we decided Texas Buzz, because we're getting a lot of interest, not only here locally, but in the whole state, which is really cool. So if you want to be a part of this show, Hurdy at hurdyburke.com. It's not up there. We'll post it down in the description underneath this video on the archive at the end of the show or on demand. Feel free to click that email. Send me, I want to be on the show if you're a local Mansfield business, and we'll be happy to bring you on. Also, let's go to our, I think last week, and by the way, this is Jordan, and I'm Hurdy. And last week, we had a pretty cool thing. You did a pretty cool thing.
Oh, yeah.
On the rewind. So we're going to play this. So this is our rewind segment. We'll be right back.
Quick rewind, keep it tight. Highlights, prime to ignite. Catch the vibe, feel the rush. Previously on the Mansfield Buzz.
All right. So in the rewind, we talked a little about AI and AI capabilities. So
Yeah, so we might as well show it off, right?
let me show you what you can do with AI nowadays.
Yeah, just fun.
Are you open?
We'll be open on Monday during spring break,
What time are you open?
9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Can I come and go?
all day long.
Can I bring my food?
Absolutely.
Can I bring my drink?
Yes.
Can I bring my kid?
Yes.
What about my cat?
No, we don't accept cats.
Play Park MTX, my weekend win. Kids go wild while I check in.
Really good. That's awesome. Man, the stuff we can do with this today and just kind of bring a little fun to a show like this. And plus, how do you not remember that's not Play Park?
Yeah.
It's perfect branding. That's perfect. Okay. So with that said, we are getting ready to dive into our what we call our icebreaker section. So we're going to play that. We're going to get started with Tom, and he's going to fill us in today on lead. We've got so much to talk about. And he's got this big event coming up, which let me say this really quickly. This podcast is kind of be a little different because we're talking about a timed event that's coming up on May 16th. But Tom's given us questions that are timeless. So if you come back and watch this on demand after it's over, you're going to see a current event coming up, but you're also going to see questions that pertain for when you come back and watch this a year from now, which we just want to let that folks know. So Tom Stephenson, welcome. We're going to get your icebreaker.
Yes.
We'll be right back. Wow. So Jordan got icebreaker for Tom.
Yes, we do. Tom, welcome to the show, and thank you for coming. It's going to be a really fun interview.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
So to get everybody kicked off, we always start with icebreakers, a little bit about you, but you in particular have a really interesting icebreaker story for us. So I kicked that up for everybody to read. Marlene and you yourself, Tom, you guys have an interesting story that dates back longer than yourselves of how you've been involved in the service. So please tell us a little bit about that, because I think our audience is going to be fascinated.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, interestingly enough, I didn't serve, nor did Marlene, but our fathers did. Her father served with Patton and was famously telling them stories about why some of Patton's decisions actually came from her father. My father, on the other hand, was at the Potsdam Conference, where Stalin and Churchill and Roosevelt divided Europe up after the war.
Wow.
Wow.
So Marlene and I carry patriotism close to our heart.
That's incredible. And the fact that you guys found each other too, like what an interesting common ground for you two to have.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to go into that.
I wonder what training that is like with those two.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure we're going to hear some pretty good stories today on. I'm really excited about talking to the questions you're going to ask him from American Legion.
Yeah.
The events coming up, and also how this all works, because just gives veterans more chance to be heard, be seen, and be accounted for. So
yeah, it's going to be incredible.
Tom,
and that is a perfect segue, because Tom, I don't know if everybody knows what the American Legion is. And for those that don't know that are watching this, could you please give us a rundown?
Well, it's not a bunch of people that have been in a war sitting around smoking and drinking in a dark bar.
okay.
It's an organization.
You've described just about every single Marine buddy of mine.
Darn.
It's an organization for all veterans. It was organized after World War I ended by Lieutenant Colonel Theodore Roosevelt Jr. and General Blackjack Pershing. It took years to get all of our service people into the war in Europe. And once it ended, they were stuck because there weren't enough transport ships to bring them home. Morale plummeted. They wanted to go home to see their loved ones, and they couldn't. So alcohol and fist got involved, and Roosevelt Jr. and Blackjack Pershing said, what can we do to support these people who've given so much?
Mm-hmm.
So once they got back to the States, Congress ratified the organization in the same year as a organization that would serve veterans, veterans' needs, and veterans' families.
So, how long has it been around?
Since 1919.
Wow.
1919.
Think about that.
1919. It is the oldest veterans organization in the United States.
Think about that.
That is, that's over 100 years, because that was in 2019. Right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
wow, that is incredible.
And one of the oldest, and yet probably one of the most not heard of, because there's so many things today that we do for veterans. But so I'll let you lead on with how, because we're going to break this down. Now, do you think we should ask him about the event coming up at the front end and again at the back end, or do we go through the questions? I want people to know.
I like the sandwich approach.
Okay, yeah, let's do this. Okay.
So let's tie it in, because you have a timely event coming up, and this podcast is timeless, so people will see this. It's 2026 right now, but people will see it long after that. But I would like to touch upon the event, because that also ties in with how the American Legion functions today and some of the things it does. So let's bring it into the local level. You guys are organizing an event. So can you tell me a little bit about how these events happen and obviously what's going on?
Okay. The American Legion is made up of people who've served. It's made up of, and we'll go through this a little later, but it's made up of people whose parents have served. It's made up of a group of motorcycle riders that are a subset of the former organizations. And there is a support group that is an auxiliary group. And the four entities all combined under one control at the post level. And in our particular post, we have almost 400 registered. So we've got 400 people that are working actively to support veterans, veterans' families, and veterans' needs. This event, the car show coming May 16th, is one of the ways that we raise funds for the veterans.
So tell us about where it's at, how people get their trucks, motorcycles, go through the whole event with us. I want to make sure everybody understands, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's May 16th.
So up on my screen, it's up in the right-hand corner, is one of the flyers. My email address is on it. It's Tom.Stephenson@yahoo.com. I'm the organizer of the event, and we welcome anybody and everybody that wants to contribute in some way. The event, we ask for a $25 donation if you're going to exhibit a car. Any business people that want to set up a booth, we have vendors that show up. They sell different types of things. And we ask them to make some kind of donation. Or any business that just wants to donate and get a recorded donation for your taxes, we would appreciate that. I'll give you one example. We once raised $10,000 for a Arlington police officer who was a motor cop who lost his leg when another car ran into him.
Wow.
So we have done some events where we would pre-purchase a brand new motorcycle and then sell off raffle tickets to raise the funds. Unfortunately, the gentleman who won the motorcycle, it was a brand new Indian Scout.
Ooh.
And he was too big for the motorcycle. The Scout is not a big motorcycle. He was a big guy.
Okay, gotcha. So what's the location of the event?
The location is out on 917, also known as Heritage.
Yep.
And once you go west from 287 on Heritage, you can't miss it.
It's on the left, right? Yeah.
It'll be on the left.
Yep.
With what's affectionately known as a deuce-and-a-half Army truck sitting.
Oh yeah, and it's cool looking. By the way, you can't miss the Army truck at 917 because it's a big old. I call it one of the carriers, right? It's huge. It's every time I drive by it, I go, Yvonne, could you buy that for me?
Heard it, you don't want it.
No, I know, but it looks cool.
The tires are $1,200 a piece.
No, I understand.
Wow.
I understand. What's money? So cool. All right.
So, and most important thing, I don't think we've talked about, what is this event like? What is this event about? What's happening?
It's about raising money for veterans families, and veterans organizations. We're not more specific this time because once we get into some of the questions, you'll understand what those funds are used for.
Good. Perfect.
And for people showing up, what can they expect?
We've had as many as 50 cars enter the show, and we have exotics. We've had Lambos, we've had Ferraris, we had an original Ford GT40 that won last year.
Do you have any Volkswagen?
So we have, and the classes are broken down into cars, trucks, motorcycles, off-road, exotics, and we hand out prizes for each one.
Oh, cool. All right.
It's also broken down in a manner in which you can have a stock 1960 Chevrolet that's got the original style wheels and no air conditioning, and that will win that class.
Ooh.
But if you put a set of Krager SS mags on it, it's a modified.
I love it. I'll be there. I'm going to go and hang out and have some fun and probably donate some to the event itself, which is really cool. So
good question too. For those of us that have classic cars that we'd be interested in putting in the show, like what's the process? Can they still do it?
Sure. It's open to everybody.
So how do you enter a car to put it in the show?
You just show up the day of, or you can send me an email.
So we're going to put his email on the end of this before we go, because I think Jordan's asking if he can bring a car. Jordan's got a car that's worth putting in.
Where do I register it? Who do I hand the check to? How does this work?
So typically it's a $25 entry fee.
Okay,
we got it.
or any more that you want to donate.
Sure.
That's what we typically ask for.
I'll throw him in with you.
Okay.
So I'll match whatever the fee is, and so if it's 25, I'll throw in 25. I'll take care of it. Good. We got a car in.
We'll write up in a convertible,
and we'll be there together.
Yes.
We're gonna hang out, and we'll even do some B-roll stuff. What do you say?
God, let's interview people on the boat.
Let's interview people. Okay, we're in.
Oh, and along those lines, because 917 is so busy, we've got a big marquee, so we'll be advertising on the marquee. But the day of the event, weather permitting, people drive by and they got the kids in the car and they go, "Oh, a car show."
Yeah.
So we've got a big open field next to the post where we put all the spectators.
Luckily, it's May 16th. By then, we're probably not in that realm where we're going to get pounded, but that's a good date probably, and it'll be nice and warm. So yeah, Jordan and I be there. We'll get an entry and we'll match his or whatever. And we'll be there.
Yeah,
we'll bring cameras. Have fun.
Yeah, we'll bring the convertible Beetle. And
I'll bring my tie-dye hat, my Army tie-dye hat that I wear around when I used to film.
Yeah. Tell you what, we'll do interviews in the car and we'll call it the Mansfield Bug.
That's right, the Mansfield Bug. That's cool. All right. So this is cool. So May 16th, I'm going to be posting the flyer back as a thumbnail, and I'll put it also. We'll get it back into the archive so people can really see it. But get your car registered. If you're in Mansfield, surrounding area, we're going to put Tom's email up at the end of this, Jordan, and then go from there. So I'll let Jordan take over, and let's go back and talk about the American Legion.
Yes, let's talk about who put this together. So you talked about it briefly, who's eligible, and I thought it was interesting because it's not just people who serve. So tell me a little bit about that, because, for example, I didn't know you haven't served because you're so passionate about it. So I would imagine the Legion has a lot of people that are involved that are not necessarily former active members.
Okay, so the main 5 service branches now with the Space Force. Anybody that served in the reserves of any type, or the merchant marine, or any male whose father, grandfather, or mother have served can be an active member. Or if you don't want to become a member, you can join the auxiliary. There's no requirements for the auxiliary.
Okay.
That's cool to know. So if my father served, I can be in the American Legion.
Correct. All you have to do is have a copy of what they used to call the separation documents.
I have it. We already have that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll present it.
Can you tell us what that is?
Nowadays, it's called a DD-214.
Yep.
It illustrates the dates you served and the branch that you served under and your rank at the time of discharge.
It's kind of like the guy tries to do in a commercial on TV, Gonk, when he tries to get in USAA because he tries to act like he's part of veterans families. This is their way of documenting that you're actually a family member of a service.
Okay.
So, yeah. So it's really cool.
Okay. Then next up too, what about the Legions? Like, do they advocate for veteran-friendly legislation at the national, state, and local level?
All the way down to city level.
Okay.
We're very active with legislation that the city wants to change rules and regulations about taxes and or how we're very active with the parade. So, it's who can be in the parade, how it's set up logistically. But we have a major presence in DC.
Okay.
If you can imagine millions of veterans veterans calling their Congress people and their state legislature about a particular issue. It's hard to turn down somebody who served their country.
Yeah. So that would pretty active presence there to help that pass legislation to support veterans.
Correct.
That's really cool.
What parade? Is the parade
Veterans
local or is
Day
it parade national?
Local.
When is it?
It'll be in November.
Okay. All right. So we'll need to brag about that when it comes up too.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
It is open for marching bands. It is open for civic groups. It is open for military groups. We always have the Deuce and a Half pulling a trailer of veterans behind it. We decorate it. Our motorcycle group rides in it. We have people that walk along the side of the parade handing out American flags.
Awesome.
And you'll have all kinds of other civic groups that are involved as well.
That's really cool. Where is the parade at?
When?
Where?
Downtown Mansfield.
Downtown Mansfield. Okay.
Yeah, and they change the parade route periodically, and
Mhm.
they change the staging area. We don't actually get involved at that level. Where we're involved is the participation and the logistics, because all the groups that want to be in it,
Mhm.
you've got a grandstand and there's a guy announcing, and the next group is X. Well, if X is out of place with Y, he's announcing the wrong one.
Yeah, that's
So, we're up at 6 o'clock in the morning, wherever the staging area is, putting out cones with their specific number on. And it's like herding cats.
and doing your checklist. Gotcha.
Yes, got you. And so I'm assuming these parades are another way that you guys raise funds.
Well, we don't use the parade so much as an outreach for money as it's an outreach for people to join. We'll have a booth set up on the parade route so
Okay.
people can learn about the American Legion.
Okay. So that brings the next question up. Like, how is the Legion funded?
It's not by the U.S. government. It is totally funded,
Okay, 5 cents. Okay.
totally funded by dues, donations, and fundraisers such as the car show.
So those are 3 revenue streams for them.
For them to be able to, and I mean, yeah, that's because especially if you guys are advocating for legislation at all kinds of levels. I mean, that takes money, especially in the national level. Like, there's some deep pockets to compete, so there needs to be a level of funding. So I'm curious,
Right.
about that, because we all want to. I mean, I would imagine everybody wants to pass better legislation for fellow military members that are business owners and needing more support from the legislation side.
Now, Tom, that leads me to this: is it a 501c3 where you get a write-off, or is it a 501c4 because you might have some political messaging?
You don't get the write-off because of the political.
Right. Right. That's never happened on our show before, just so you know.
That's Washington.
That's Washington calling right now. So I guess what you're saying is you're probably deemed a 501c4 because you get active through Washington stuff. So when people donate, it's probably just to help the veterans, correct?
Right.
Okay, gotcha. A lot of people like to know that. They want to know if they're donating, they want to know if they can write it off. If not, then join, or
Well,
just for the sake of donating.
Here's the thing. We try to be as apolitical as possible.
Yes, I get
We
that.
try not to talk politics. We try not to. If you want to support a particular candidate, that's your business.
I understand.
We're not going to put our name on it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I get that. But at least you're deemed outside the 501c3, so you do have a voice if you want it. Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. It's not about talking politics. It's about influencing politics.
Yeah. So it's no big deal. I just wanted to make sure people understood there's a big difference when you write a check for one to the other. So.
But now that you're talking about checks, let's ask the question that everybody writing a check asks.
Yeah. Who do I make it up?
As a nonprofit, what percentage of the funds raised are required to be distributed?
Everything but what it takes to operate.
Yep.
So we have a building, we have an electric bill, we have a water bill, we have, supplies.
Right.
Other than that, we give every penny back somewhere, somehow.
Now, is your bylaws, how many, you have local board, obviously, correct, Tom?
Yes.
Okay.
We have a constitution, we have bylaws. And
Yep.
when I say we give it back, we don't give it back just in one location. So we'll receive a message from what's called the state level. And they'll say, hey, we want to raise funds for school supplies at Fort Bliss, for example.
Perfect. Gotcha.
Because what a lot of people don't understand is that when you raise your right hand and say, I swear, they're going to feed you, they're going to house you, and they're going to clothe you. But there may not be enough in your private's pay to take care of the kids and the wife.
Yeah.
But they still have to eat and live somewhere. You may get some base housing, but what rank you are depends how much money you get. So we end up supporting a lot of those functions to make sure that our military families are taken care of.
Gotcha. Okay.
Gotcha. So is that the main way that the Legion serves veterans and families, is through that kind of support?
We do housing, medical care, medical equipment, transportation, groceries. An example from a couple of years ago, one of our veterans dropped his motorcycle on his ankle and shattered it. He lives in a pre-manufactured home. Well, he couldn't get up the steps.
Oh, man.
So we found a handicap ramp and custom built him a ADA approved angled ramp so he could get up into his house.
Awesome.
Okay.
Now, the caveat to that was when he gets better, and he's not better yet, but when he gets better, that's our ramp to be used for somebody else.
Ah,
Yeah, got it.
that's cool.
Awesome.
So for people listening, and this is one of the beauty of this, is this will apply for people, again, it's 2026, but even to see this in 2030, presumably not a lot will change. How do veterans and their families apply for aid?
Well, they go to the nearest American Legion post, and if they're already a Legionnaire, they will apply with their post. But there are 3 people that are challenged with helping veterans and veterans' families. One is the Postal Service Officer. His job, his unpaid job, by the way, his job is to work with the VA and the other veterans organizations to try to help solve the veterans' problem. The chaplain of the post is also a place that they can come. And then finally, the post commander. I'll give you a quick story. About 4 years ago, one of our long-term veterans passed away. And in his will was six figures worth of donations for the relief fund.
Awesome.
Wow.
And the way we handle the out is we don't just hand them a check or cash. You tell us who your landlord is. We'll pay the landlord.
Okay.
Gotcha.
You tell us what your grocery budget is. We'll make sure that you can feed yourself and your family.
Right.
We've had situations in the past where people have gone, oh, hey, I need some money. And it didn't get spent appropriately.
Right. Well, good. That's one way to make sure that the money's being applied for all the people that pay their dues and do their donations. So
That's an extra
in the
level of
events,
security.
yeah, it is, and it's smart.
Yeah.
It's really smart. So yeah,
And you said so they apply with their local posts.
Correct.
How do they find that?
yeah. Where is it here? Oh,
You just Google nearest American Legion post to me. There are 8 of them in Tarrant County.
your number what? 643?
624.
624.
Okay.
Okay.
So can you walk me through it a little bit? Because we live in the Mansfield, Arlington area. People listening to the podcast might not be in Mansfield; they could be in Amarillo. So how do they find their local post, and how do they engage with it?
Just Google American Legion closest to me
And then what?
and go visit.
Okay.
And
Do they need to set an appointment, or there's walk-ins?
just walk in.
Okay.
Now, here's a unique factor. American Legions nationwide get to set their own rules about who's allowed in and who's not in terms of just walking in the door.
Okay.
So some posts, you get a key card, if you remember. Some posts they leave it up to the cantina manager's discretion to let somebody in. We're an open post. We invite the public. And the reason we do is that's how we end up recruiting people who didn't know what we were or where we were
Yeah.
to join our organization. And the philosophy of having a closed door or a closed organization just doesn't make any sense to us.
Yeah. That's cool that they get to decide that for
Yeah. It means per region or whatever they want to do.
Mhm.
So they have the say in how they want to handle it. That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, it's
Locally, your doors are open though. You want people to come and support and walk in,
absolutely.
have their family. See, I didn't know that you could be a family member.
Yeah.
I just learned that today, Tom. My dad was U.S. Navy. I'm planning on maybe coming over and joining simply because of that. So
Well, we'd love to have you.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's my current obligations are to be the chaplain for the Sons, and I'm the chaplain for the Riders group. And I'm about to step into a district position where I would be over all the Sons chapters in the Tarrant County area. I've got some turpitude about that, but we'll see.
Yeah.
It's a lot of responsibility there.
Yeah. But that's cool. All right.
Now, Tom, is there programs available for the little ones?
There are. I think there have been something like 40 professional baseball players over the years that came up through the American Legion baseball program.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm really getting some new information.
I was like, I didn't know this.
Like,
Yeah,
I
please
didn't
tell me
know
more.
that.
So for locations that don't have an active little league, a lot of the American Legions step up and put together a similar program. So it's from T-ball all the way up.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
And we've thought about doing it here, but the little league organizations here are so robust, it's just not that big a need. Our energy can be focused elsewhere.
Yeah, gotcha.
The baseball programs donate school supplies, K through 12. And then there's a unique program called Boys State and Girls State. And what it is that each state has the ability to make their own program. But for 1 week in the summer, there are busloads of kids that we educate on how government works, and we take them to the state capitol.
Ooh.
And we introduce them to their politicians that run the state. So there's some pre-learning, and then there's the field trip. It takes a lot of adult volunteers and chaperones and education to make that kind of program happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, actually.
That's very impressive. What an experience. What age group is that aimed for?
Typically, it's somewhere between 14 to 18.
Oh, so it's a little older.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get a trip to the Capitol, you get to meet their politicians, if they're available, and they get to see how civics and government work. That's pretty cool.
Can you imagine a 16-year-old getting
And they can see how they're doing right.
decision makers?
Yeah, that's cool. I
Well,
like
and it's not inexpensive to house and feed that group of people.
I mean, at that size, they eat
No.
like an adult.
Right,
They take the
yeah.
same room as one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think last year's budget for that program was $200,000 plus.
Makes sense.
I believe it.
And people listening to it are like, that is awesome. How can they support that?
Donate to the American Legion or come be a member.
Awesome. I like it.
Okay. Is this something they can do like on the website that takes donations, or are they getting engaged with a local post directly?
We prefer that you engage with a local post.
Okay.
That way, the sincerity of the thank you is there.
Okay.
It's not just a blind donation.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, Tom, you've got on a shirt. We've been oohing and on over your shirt because it looks like it's kind of a American Legion's type uniform. You've got something that says above the pocket, and you got a blue patch on what would be your arm. Is that the chaplain thing, or what is that?
Now, typically on my chaplain badge is here. And we always have the American Legion flag. I mean, the American flag on one arm.
Right.
And then I designed this one because we didn't have a way to identify which post we were from when we would go to a state convention.
Ah,
To meet. So when I've had 10 years in the American Legion, 5 of it in Florida and 5 of it here. And in Florida, we had a Florida patch. And I designed this, and everybody approved it. And now everybody that's in the Suns has one of these.
Okay.
And the motto on it is 624, just one more.
oh, cool. 624, which is the name of this group. That's
Right.
awesome.
That's really cool.
I like it. I
Okay.
just had to ask. You got it on. I saw that big blue patch sitting there. I wanted to ask about it. That's pretty cool.
And that 624, just one more, is just one more member. Just one more life that got saved by you reached out to help somebody. And you can just embellish that all the way down through our philosophy. 624, just one more.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
I
really
like
cool.
it. And how does, and I guess then Jordan, I think we've kind of talked about it, but
Yeah, let's talk about
it's
local.
worth diving into the local.
Let's dive into how the Legion supports Mansfield. It's Mansfield Bus,
Yeah.
Mansfield City. Let's talk about how you guys get involved and how the whole flow works.
So we support the ROTC programs,
Cool.
which is your Reserve Officer Training Corps at the high school level. We were approached and gladly did so. They needed a new air rifle program. So we bought and paid for all the air rifles for the ROTC and targets and gas cylinders and got them set up so that they were first class. That's one way we did it.
Nice.
I like it.
The couple other ways we do it is we've already talked about running the logistics for the Veterans Day Parade. We come in contact with all types of organizations that are in that parade, and we treat all of them with respect, and they get to see a little bit about how we operate as a unit to help everybody get where they're supposed to be and support them as well as them supporting the veterans. We donate to police and fire organizations. As I mentioned earlier, we gave an officer $10,000. We honor the deceased veterans by placing flags or wreaths on Memorial Day and Christmas.
That reminds me, Mansfield just opened up off Broad Street the Memorial Park. Am I correct? And
Correct.
are you guys going to be using that to hold some events in the future? Because it's beautiful. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable. I don't know.
Yeah, we've talked about that. One of the things that we pivoted for years, we were part of the flag and the wreath programs at the National Cemetery in Dallas.
Awesome.
But they get so many volunteers that it parking becomes difficult, the organization becomes difficult. And one of our members said, well, what about the couple of Mansfield cemeteries here that have got veterans in them? And we're, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
We're going to spend our time and effort at home.
Yeah.
So we work with the Mansfield cemeteries, and we'll buy and place for every deceased veteran a wreath on Christmas and a flag on Memorial Day. And we take the ROTC candidates from the high schools with us out there. And there's a small ceremony that you do at the gravesite when you're placing the flag or the wreath. And the leaders of the ROTC program make them march from grave to grave. And it's really something to see those kids learning about the history of what it's taken to build this country into what it is.
That's huge support for Mansfield area, right?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It's honoring the veterans that way. What I'm surprised about so far, Jordan, is how many things they do.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, and it's local.
Yeah.
All right.
One other thing that I want to bring up
Mhm.
is on Flag Day, we have a ceremony where we properly retire tattered and dirty American flags.
See, another thing they do.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how do you determine that? Do you have somebody driving around and looking at all the flags that are up and then going into the business or going into the organization, or who
Well,
does the flag?
Police.
Who's the flag police?
No, we're known as the repository for tattered flags.
Okay, gotcha.
The Boy Scouts bring them to us.
And you
Other
take
organizations bring them to us.
gotcha.
We're the only ones that we know of in Mansfield that actually have a formal ceremony to do that. And then the public is invited. Once the formal ceremony is over and we've started retiring them by putting them into a fire barrel, then the public is invited to solemnly retire as many flags as they want.
Gotcha.
That's cool.
To become part of the ceremony so that they understand and respect. You just don't throw it in the trash can.
Yeah. Tom, let me ask you something, because you probably have the right answer for this. I don't think everybody is, not everybody's aware of proper flag etiquette. Can you give us a quick rundown of the proper etiquette for the American flag?
Don't ever let it touch the ground.
Okay.
We don't have enough time on the program, Jordan, honestly.
How about some basics then?
Yeah, we can touch on the basics.
Okay, so if you want to display a flag in your yard, it must be lit 24/7, or you have to take it down at dusk.
Okay.
So that's one of the biggest ones that I see. And when I-20 was completed and the big car lots bought those huge flags,
No kidding.
I would drive past there every day on my way to work in Dallas, and they would leave them up till the wind tattered them so bad that I couldn't stand it. And I would go in there and I would find the general manager, and I would say, that needs to come down, and it needs to come down now. Well, we've got one on order. No, it comes down now. And sometimes it would happen, sometimes it wouldn't. I actually got published in the Dallas Morning News because I wrote an article. It was titled Pride or Promotion, and it was directed against the car dealers.
Yeah.
So
they needed to take the flag down because it was tattered.
correct.
So that is another flag etiquette point. So it cannot be tattered. Could you tell us, like, at what point does it become like obligatory to retire it?
Anytime the seams on the red and white bars, it'll always be at the end.
Yep.
If they don't move together in the wind, it's time.
They whip.
Ah, okay.
Another thing is you never fly an American flag upside down.
Right.
That's a sign of distress.
Oh, okay. I mean, I was just
It's not etiquette to do it unless it's distressed. Right.
I didn't know that. Okay, so an upside down flag is a signal of distress.
Correct.
Right.
But there's probably 30 or 40 different ways to exhibit or not exhibit a flag, depending on whether there's other flags there, or is the audience facing or behind, or
Yeah. Does the rain play a factor? Should you have the flag out when it's raining?
Weather's not
it.
weather.
Okay.
Hey, so what I'm going to do after the broadcast, Tom, I'm going to go ahead and look up the rules, the etiquette for the American flag, and I'm going to post that link in the description.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Because we're going to put history on the American flag and what you can and can't do with it.
Yeah.
Because I bet a lot of people don't have a clue.
No. I mean, and it's, it could be people
You stick them in your landscaping and they're touching the flowers. They're not supposed to touch the ground. They're supposed to be evident. They got to be brand new. They can't be tethered. I mean, they can't be all worn out. They can't be mud. I mean, that's cool. And then the way to dispose of them correctly.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people don't know.
So
it's just cool we're talking about this, because it's kind of a nice history lesson as we're talking about the veterans today. I think the number one thing we need to reiterate is these guys take care of veterans and their families and their kids.
Before we recap, though, I do want to have one last question.
Yes.
What does the half-mast flag represent?
someone of stature and importance to our country has passed away.
Okay.
Now, the President of the United States many times will require the flags to go half-mast for someone that may have been a politician or somebody that was, somebody of stature to help humanity.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be a veteran.
Right.
Okay.
So a good example of that was Charlie Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So deemed by the president. So cool. All right. So post 624 is open to public. We've kind of discussed that.
We talked a little bit about post 624. Post 624 is our local Mansfield post.
Correct.
To the public, and you just mentioned, putting up on the flag, like they can bring the flags to retire to you guys. What else are you guys open for people to come visit and lean to you guys for?
We have pool tables and pool tournaments. We've got horseshoe kits. We have horseshoe tournaments. We have live music 3 out of 4 weekends on Friday or Saturday nights.
I knew none of this.
Yeah.
And we have typically one of the entities within the post will use that event as a fundraiser and will provide food before and during the event. And sometimes it could be as simple as chicken fried steak sandwich. Sometimes it gets a little more elaborate, but we always ask for a nominal donation of somewhere around $10.
Good. I like it.
That's really cool.
So what's the hours for the post? What is the public hours?
Weekdays, I wouldn't say that it's always open before noon,
Okay.
but noon's usually the target.
Okay.
And then around weekdays, once again, around 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Friday and Saturday night, we run a little later
Cool.
and a little earlier.
So stop in.
Yeah.
See what's going on. Talk to some of these guys. That's pretty cool. And where in that post is the one that's on Little Road? Where's this meeting? Where is it?
No, it's not on Little Road.
Okay, where is it at?
Our post,
Yes.
it's I don't remember the exact address. It's on the poster.
Okay, I'll post that because the Dublin public want to do that. So we'll get the address for that.
Mhm.
Cool.
Now, if you guys haven't had enough education so far in the podcast, what are you doing afterwards? I'll take you over there.
Working.
Okay. Well,
But I'm open for that tour with you anytime. We can schedule that.
Yeah.
If it's after like the Wednesday morning meeting or something, I can schedule that time. Jordan has to be flexible too. He'll have to get with you.
yeah.
But, we're both pretty freaking busy, right? So I mean, but yeah, if we can schedule it, we'll do that with you for sure. As long as you're buying lunchtime, we're in. I'm kidding.
No, I owe you guys for allowing me to come on here.
No, you don't know. It's the thing. It's all good.
Yeah.
So
You just have to provide the live music.
yeah.
We'll hand you a guitar and you can sing.
It's right. No.
You don't want to hear that.
Let's do this. Jordan, while you get on your keyboard, if you don't mind, and add a banner and put in tom.stevenson@yahoo.com. I did not do that because I want to make sure that was the email. While you're doing that, I'm going to recap this. So on May 16th, you're going to be off Heritage, which is 917, and you're going to be having a bunch of cool cars, and you're going to have locals with their booths, and you're going to have the ability for people to bring their car if they want to pay the admission fee of $25 or whatever, plus anything they want to donate. And you're going to have the ability to open to public. And I'm going to put the times and a link up to that in this podcast in the description so you can share it. And then if you need to get a hold of Tom and you want to enter a car, it's right there. Tom.Stevenson@yahoo.com. Hit him straight up. I mean, I'm going to put this link right in the description box so that people can click right on it, go to his email. But get your car in. And Jordan and I are committed now, right? We're going to put our calendars. We're going to bring a car. And me and him are going to both pay whatever he pays, I'm paying. We'll figure it out. We might do a little more, whatever. We got you covered. We're going to be in it and we're going to film some stuff.
Yeah.
Take some pictures, do some interviews with some folks. So Tom, we'll be there for that too.
Appreciate it, gentlemen. You're good friends. Thank you.
Any cool final thoughts? And by the way, when we do finish, please stay on with us for a few minutes because we want to make sure your recording gets uploaded to the server. Okay. So just stay with this. I didn't tell you that earlier. So Jordan, any final things? Because really cool.
Yeah, with this upcoming car show, Tom, what are your hopes? What do you hope to achieve out of this?
Well, last year we had the 29 cars, and I was a little disappointed. I put a lot of effort into getting the word out, and I didn't have as many cars as I've had before. And I talked to the commander of the post about it, and he said, "You're missing the big picture." He said, "Anytime you hold an event here, that's publicity." He said, "We had 12 new members join during the car show."
Mm.
And he said our cantina ran 3 times as much money through it that year as they normally do. So you raised money 3 different ways. You got new membership dues, you got food and beverage 3 times what they normally do, and you got 12 new members that paid dues. And
Yeah.
out of the 12, some of them are going to be active and will stay with us for years.
Yep.
So he said, don't hang your head that you only had 29 cars.
No, now we have the podcast done. Let's go for 50.
Yeah.
Let's go for 50 and we'll start sharing this out and making sure everybody's aware of it. And you have now 2 months left to really show it out on your end too. So let's just shoot for 50.
And you know what's beautiful about this? Is
We
if
got
you wanna
one extra
support-
one today.
If you want to support, come eat,
Yeah.
come drink,
Yeah.
come bring a car,
Come bring a car.
come join, come
Eat.
support.
Buy from local vendors, donate extra. There you go.
Yep.
We're excited. Tom, thanks.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
I'm glad you guys invited me to do this because
Of course.
I am a disciple of the American Legion.
Yes, you are. You talk about
Which
it
is
all the time
obvious. Yes.
because you're in our network group and you talk about it all the time, which is awesome.
And Tom, real quick, while I have you, I want to get you on camera explaining this to us. Tell us the criteria for the cars, even if there's none. What is like? Walk through it so I can.
It has to be able to move itself off of a trailer if it's trailer.
Okay, that's important.
So lift the trailer.
So we've had people that have had antiques.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they've pushed off the trailer, and that's not fair to the others that drove there. Or they fired it up and it backed itself off and put itself back on the trailer.
Yeah.
We got really sticky with one of our veterans. He had a 1917 Indian motorcycle in pristine condition,
A rare bike.
except it didn't run.
So what?
Okay.
It was worth seeing though.
Yeah, but it's part of the
But
requirement.
no,
It needs
it's
to be
a
a
part of the
running car.
requirement. So we want 50 running cars
It's a
or
running vehicle.
bikes or trucks or whatever. Right.
Yeah,
And you guys don't have to think about the year. It could be whatever year. It just has to be cool.
no years. We don't exclude, Chevrolets or Fords, or everybody's welcome.
I wish I still had. I wish I could. I might be able to call my buddy down in Austin and bring up his Mazda.
Oh, the race cars you used to drive?
Retool Mazda race car. Yeah.
That's cool. And what's the deadline to reach you to register a car?
The day of.
Oh, wow, that is flexible.
So they got right up to the day. They just pull in and pay $25 if they decide to be in it and it's cool and they accept it. There you go.
Yes. But if you're watching this and want to get your car in,
You
since
go
we're
to
going to
Tom Stephenson.
take an email and run it quickly, because if the word does get spread, there is limited space. So at a certain point, we're going to have to say no.
And so we're going to ride out in your car, right?
We can, yes.
I think we should.
It
It's
runs.
not that far away.
Yeah. It's got AC as long as the car's moving.
I don't care about that. Yeah, as long as the car's moving, you have AC. Okay, that's good to know. All right, Tom, stick with us. We want to thank everybody for being part of Mansfield Buzz. Jordan, excellent as always.
Well, thank you.
Great
Likewise.
information. Way to handle the question. And Tom, thank you for being open about everything you do there and what you've done to help these veterans, families, and kids. It's really cool. You do talk about it all the time. And our group somehow needs to get involved.
Yeah.
We need to put Sam on the spot.
Yep.
And let him be a bad guy.
Yeah.
And go after everybody to get to participate, even
Yes.
if we have our little collective group out there,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, let's see.
so
let's see
we'll
what
work.
we can get there.
We'll twist some arms for you.
Okay, appreciate it.
All right, guys. So Tom, stick with us for a few minutes after it's over. We'll see everybody next week, and I'm not even sure where we close it out. We close it out at.
I'll do here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyhow, y'all
Next guest, I believe,
y'all have
will
a
be-
good day.
Yeah.
I'm not used to
Yeah.
your I'm used to my dashboard. You know, on mine, it's the same, but it looks a little different.
Welcome to my dashboard.
Welcome to your dashboard. I like the studio. So y'all have a good day.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye, guys.